We respectfully request the Sangha great virtues for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tặng thính, vì thứ pháp vội gặp nhắc thiết chúng sanh, Tín chuyên diệu pháp giao đạo ngã mùng, như há liêu sanh thoát tư ly khổ đạc lạc, tốc chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Nam mô Sa Nan Tho Sư Chế Đô Ye Ơ La Hờ Đi San Miao San Pu Tô Xế. Nam mô Tát Đắc Tha Tu Ya Đa Ya A La Ha Đề Tam Miệu Tham Bồ Đà Toa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I am able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Wu shang sheng sheng wei miao fa ba he qian wan jie nan zao yu wo jin jie wen de shou qi Yuan Jie Ru Lai Zhen Shi Yi. O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Ching Liang, Great Master YongHua, all good monks and nuns, and all good knowing advisors, Emitofuo. 诸佛菩萨、清凉大士、师父、上人、各位出家人、各位善知识，弥陀佛。Chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa là Thanh Lương Đại sư Hòa Thượng Tiến Hóa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện tri thức ca Di Đà Phật. Hello everyone. Today is the 21st of June 2024. We're here at DTT to continue discussing the prologue to the Avatamsaka Sutra. We're doing door number 2 and on slide 877. Thank you all for joining us. Okay, it's a very rather scholarly and long discussion of an overview of the Avatamsaka Sutra and the profound Buddhist principles contained within the Avatamsaka Sutra. So don't be too alarmed that you don't get it. It's natural you don't get it. The purpose of us doing this is for you to be exposed to these names, the jargon, and so that I assure you, most scholars and most people would not be able to understand what they really mean at all. So doing this will enable all of us to be feel less threatened. People come to us with trying to ask us hard questions, because whatever people can ask you will be, their understanding will be a lot, falls far short of the concepts involved here. This is really the most profound Buddhist knowledge you're going to have. Okay, so at least when you hear the jargon, you hear it for the first time, and we'll discuss a few things for you. Would be good enough. That's all. That's my intention. My intention is not to go into the scholarly details of that. When we do that, it serves a very small and narrow audience, and it's not a good use of our time. We are in the early stages of American Mahayana, so like Master YongHua, I am intent. I'm more interested in building your samadhi power and help you unfold your wisdom. He did that, and he also laid the foundation for us about the teaching school. So we are taking advantage of it, and it's good enough for us. His foundation goes a long, long way for a few more generations at least. So we are more interested in, again, bringing your samadhi power, your samadhi level up quickly so that you'll be able to understand the profound Buddhist principles, take advantage of them, and then maybe when you have the opportunity to share them with those who come to you for help. Okay? So listen with an open mind. Don't try to understand too much. That the seeds of Vajra be planted in you. All right? 877. For that reason, the third period for them divides the singleness of Dharma into doctrines of emptiness and existence.
故第30为其分析于一法上空有之意。
Okay. 878 commentary slide. Here, as it goes on and on, he's discussing the Indian classification of Buddhist teachings. Okay, and they were advocated by two great Indian masters who founded the schools of Dharma Nature and Dharma Marx. Is here talking about the school of Dharma Marx, and where they divided the Buddha's teachings into various periods, 3 or 4 periods, and they have the good rationale. And they systematized the Buddha's teaching in order to make it more easily digested by their followers. All right, so it's good to go into that. So the third period, the period where they started teaching about wisdom, about real enlightenment, they divide the singleness of the Dharma, meaning that there's only one really Buddha Dharma, one Buddha vehicle. Wherever people divided the Buddhist teachings into Hinayana, Mahayana, is basically our expedience. They all they fall under the big umbrella of the one vehicle, the Buddha vehicle, where everything that is taught in Buddhism is not beyond the purpose of helping you become the Buddha. The sooner the better. All right? So that's a singleness of the Dharma. Only one Dharma in Buddhism, the Dharma of turning you into Buddhas and helping you end suffering and attain bliss forever. Okay? And that singleness of Dharma is a non-duality of emptiness of existence, a concept of non-duality of emptiness of existence. In the real world, confused people look at emptiness, things are empty, and existence, the things that are real to them. Okay, and those actually are non-dual. This is the concept that's heavily stressed in the Avatamsaka Sutra. Life and so existence is basically our lives, our world. Emptiness is what it says. It really doesn't really exist. So this is the Avatamsaka wisdom. It exists, and yet it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist is emptiness, exists is existence, and the one and the same. Only in Buddhism we have this kind of wisdom. Okay? So don't be scared. Once you hear these concepts, you hear all the other masters talk about doing the Dharma talks, they all fall short of this profound principle of singleness of the Dharma. Okay? It's both empty and existent. Okay? And that's why we look at worldly people, no matter how smart they are, the physicists, the Einsteins, the geniuses of the world, they fall into the category of existence. Their wisdom is based on existence, and they deny emptiness. Okay? Only because they don't understand emptiness. Okay? On the other hand, there's some Hinayana practitioners or non-Buddhist practitioners who have experienced emptiness themselves, okay, but they haven't really gone far enough. That's why they renounce the world. They deny existence. And that's why there is still the separation between church and state, if you will. Okay? And so the emptiness is the spirituality. Existence is science, if you will. Okay? And that's why if you only study science alone, then you fall into the attachment side of existence. If you only wear monk's robe and only do monk stuff, you fall into the realm of emptiness. You're running away from the world. We don't. We exist in the world and to practice emptiness. And we practice emptiness eventually down the road, maybe in time, 20 years, maybe 30 years. We have a center where you'll be able, or maybe more smaller centers where you'll be encouraged to practice emptiness, to develop your spiritual penetrations, so that you'll be allowed to descend from a mountain and benefit the world. So all our training is about the singleness of the Dharma. The separation, distinctions is only temporary. And this is embodied here. And the way we approach training, we approach teaching, we approach propagation. It's both empty and existence. Okay? All right? This, by the way, is far more efficient, more effective in training than going either way. Okay? Any questions about that? It's very clear to me. Over the years, I started, like Master YongHua, okay, stressing the Chinese style. Now I find that it's because of the results that we observe in all of you. I see that the singleness of the Dharma is the much more effective way of training, of teaching. All right? 879. It's wondrous wisdom sutra. Then, because of one category of those who, upon hearing discussion of the three natures, become confused about consciousness only and are not yet able to dispense with the mind.
其妙至今，则以一类闻说三性，迷为是者，未能忘心。
Okay. Commentary. There's a sutra called Wondrous Sutra, Wondrous Wisdom Sutra. When you talk about wondrous or wonderful, that's Mahayana. Only Mahayana would have this concept of wonderful, of wondrous. All the others teachings cannot understand wonderful. Yes, 9. So that's why very rarely do you find people who would talk about wonderful, including I read the Chinese, I read the Japanese stuff, the Japanese Zen Japanese teachings. They shy away from that. I went to Korea. They don't talk about wonderful. Okay, they should talk about everything else, but wonderful. And of course, Hinayana would not understand wonderful. Yes, 9.
Thank you, Master. Going back to the training of one Dharma, when you train people with this singleness of Dharma, is there an order of emptiness in existence? Do you train emptiness in existence together, or do you train one first and then the other?
It flip-flops. When necessary, we need to flip-flop constantly. It's like a AC/DC current. The timing depending on a lot of factors. That's why we're not stuck on a single approach. We approach from both sides of the equation. If it's the same, why are you stuck on emptiness? Okay, Chan, for example, is emptiness. Chan training that you're undergoing right now is you learn to be vigorous. Vigorous will help you bring you into emptiness. Okay, that is the nature of Chan training. But since you cannot keep up with it, since you're weak, unlike our prior generations, they're much tougher than we are. Master YongHua is much tougher than we are. He has it much harder than we are. Okay, no house, no money, no food, no problem. When your stomach growls, you're complaining, oh, this is so hard, I miss my home. Okay? When people yell at you, you can't take it. You say, wow, these people are so brutal. They are so rude. They don't understand. They have no manners. Okay? And so you are weak. We are weak. So that's why to dwell on this traditional style of Chinese Chan is too slow. It will take you too long to come up to speed, for your skin to thicken. In Korean Taekwondo, anyone practice Taekwondo? Huh? I did that in Vietnam when I was younger. So we are taught in Taekwondo to toughen, to make our fists more lethal by making a fist and hit it against a board. Bang! Bang! Okay? And you bleed. This is martial arts training. You bleed. Okay? And you keep on hitting. Don't stop. Okay? Don't put any alcohol. Okay? You keep on hitting and hitting. And if you do it often enough, your fist then becomes lethal. The skin hardens. The bone becomes harder, denser. Okay? And that's one approach. Okay? People used to be able to do that. Nowadays, you find very few young people are willing to do that. They are not even willing to go to work. Why would they punish themselves like this? You know? His generation, who knows what they're gonna be up to? But you know, the Gen Z, they're soft. They're very, very soft. So for us to include them, we need to have a different approach. To go brute force like you elderly people, older people, okay, it's much more demanding than they can take. So we need to be more flexible. Okay, so that's why we have to use both emptiness and existence. All I want to tell you, this requires skills. It's not as simple as it sounds. All I wanted to tell you is that you need to look at the world differently. If you look at someone who only hides himself in a temple and say, I don't want to talk to you, then they fall into emptiness training. They don't understand. They cannot. Once the wisdom is not flexible enough, is not broad enough to be able to be used to society, to themselves even. Because once they descend from the mountain, they're totally lost. Okay? Whereas if you talk to the scholars, the professors, okay, and the successful people, they are in the side of existence, they succeed, they have a remarkable success in their field, in their endeavors, and therefore they're attached to existence, okay? They are in big trouble. They don't know it. They don't have as much wisdom as they think they do. They're suffering so much, they don't even know it. And so they're least qualified to lead us, to advise us. But that's the nature of our world. Our leaders are confused. Back then, Chinese emperors, okay, they brought in the spiritual teachers to guide them. We don't see that anymore. You see? That's why you see the world is getting worse and worse, because on the existence side, we fall into nuclear wars, into invasion, into stealing, and so forth, okay? Because they are confused about existence. And the young generation, okay, are easily enamored with existence. And that's why we need to have a compromise. You should listen to the existence side when we are pursuing worldly things. But that should not be the only thing that's important to us. Okay? If the so that's what happens to worldly people. They don't understand emptiness. That's why they have an expiration date. They become useless eventually, because they're too attached to their success, to their knowledge. Life passes them by. Technology passes them by. Young generation pass them by. Whereas on the emptiness side, we have the same problem. The religious institutions are pursuing emptiness. They're not keeping up with existence. They are not serving the world anymore. Well, how can we possibly feel entitled to sit here and use water, breathe the air, accept your money, accept your support, and be useless to society? That is unsustainable. And that's why religious institutions are shrinking. They're dying because they're not useful anymore. They don't understand emptiness anymore, but now they lean into existence. Buddhist temples now do charity work. That's existence. You know that? That's a very, very obvious sign that on the religion side, they need to understand emptiness first before they can go into existence. But no, in order to get our support, lay people's support, because they realize they're falling short. Okay? So they're engaging in existence instead of excelling or mastering emptiness first. So our approach is different. Our approach is that we're in the midst of existence, meaning we have to worry about paying for mortgage, paying for electricity, paying for food, and so forth. Okay? But yet, we are not attached to be able to pay. If we don't pay, we close up and we go. We can't pay, we close up and we go to the mountain. Okay? We're not worried about it. And that is exactly the combination of both existence and emptiness. Yes, we have to worry about cash flows, about investments and so forth, okay? But we're not attached to it. Same thing, you come here. You have to learn, you're learning both about emptiness and existence. Yes, we teach you about, maybe begin with emptiness, with existence, whatever. Eventually, in order for you to keep on coming, you have to use both emptiness and existence. You learn in Chanchi here about emptiness, but without your family, you won't be able to practice in peace or without any guilt. You see? So it's the whole thing in the practice. It's a flip-flop. There's no one side, okay? It's a flip-flop constantly. You come in, depending on your level, depending on your background, depending on your potential, your roots, okay? We approach things differently. If it's not good enough, we build up your roots. We help you build up quickly, depending on what you want. What do you want? Are you after existence? Are you after emptiness? It's up to you. You're perfectly capable of adapting to your needs. YouTube.
네, 질문 두 개가 있습니다. 제이콥의 질문입니다. 내가 컵을 보면 어찌해서 나도 나이고 컵도 나인가요?
Master, two questions. The first question, I look at the cup, then how come I become I and cup become I?
The cup become I? What does the cup become I mean? I become I, what does it mean? That's too Korean for me. Can you use simple words for me?
That's his question. Why am I, and why is the cup I?
Why is the cup I? What does it mean? Why is the cup I? Why am I, and the cup is I?
That's his question.
I don't know. I don't know how to answer it because I do not understand the question. Who is he?
Jacob.
Who?
Jacob.
Do I know him?
아는 사람인가요?
I answer the question because I know who you are. I answer the question to help you understand. I answer the question to help our people understand how to answer questions as well. I'm not here to answer theoretical questions. I'm here to answer your questions to help you understand, to help you open your wisdom. There are plenty of places, other places where you can go and get answers to your theoretical questions. Or nowadays, you can easily use AI to get more comprehensive answers, okay? Theoretical answers. All right, I don't know how to answer the question because I don't understand the question. I'm sorry. Moving on.
네, 다음 거 질문 드리면 될까요? 네, 카르마님의 질문입니다. 영화 선사님, 좋은 가르침 항상 감사드립니다. 저는 3개월 전부터 선명상을 하루에 1시간 이상 명상을 하고 있습니다. 최근에 명상을 하면 상당히 피곤하고 눈도 피로해지는데 이 부분에 대해 선사님의 조언을 부탁드립니다. 그리고 요새는 선명상 시 너무 졸음이 오는데 이 부분도 질문 드립니다.
This question is from Karma. Thank you for your good teaching. For 3 months, I've been meditating for more than 1 hour every day. Recently, when I meditate, I become very tired and my eyes become tired. So could you advise to me about this part? And also, I got very sleepy when I meditate. So how can I deal with my sleepiness?
So 2 problems. Let me address second problem first. I don't understand the first problem. When you meditate and you're sleepy, it's not uncommon. Okay? Because it has so many reasons. But look at it as an opportunity to learn, to fight sleepiness. That's all it means. Don't make the same mistakes as most meditation students, because this is a common problem. People often ask this question, even to my late Chinese teacher, Master YongHua. Many of his professional students, nuns, monks, we all struggle with the sleepy issue. And he taught them various things, okay? He taught, when I was at a novice, when we help our young novices, young shamis fight sleepiness because they're not interested in meditating at all. They were more interested in playing and eating and having a good time. But when we force them to meditate, they fall asleep, okay? And so we teach them to fight the sleepiness by using sprays of water, okay, by threatening them, all sorts of things, okay. And so this is well documented. When I first started teaching as well, I extracted a sutra in Hinayana teaching where the Buddha listed something like 12 or 13 different approaches for people to try when they feel sleepy. But they all do not fall outside of the realm of when you feel sleepy. The principle behind it is to fight sleepiness. Don't give in. I don't want you to, as soon as you feel sleepy and tired, to leave. Okay? This is an attitude. When you feel sleepy, you say, when you realize you're sleepy and you feel like sleeping, and you feel like taking it easy and resting, this is when you fight. This is an opportunity for you to fight. If you give in to the sleepiness and bend over and sleep and lie down and rest, okay, then you miss on the purpose of this Chanchi time here, is when you dedicate yourself to fighting. The rule here for us is very simple. You follow the schedule, no excuses. And whether you're hungry, you still follow the schedule. You fight to follow the schedule. If you're sleepy, you fight the sleepiness. It's the beauty of the instructions. It's so simple, and yet it encapsulates the spirit of cultivation. In my generation, in my prior life, I would sacrifice everything to be successful. Sleep, eating, everything to be successful. Okay? This is the same kind of mindset. You come here, you only have this short time period for you to give it your all and to pursue the spiritual thing here, and you learn to do things that you are normally enabled to do with this environment. Okay? So you fight and fight and fight. Okay? We're not asking for success. We're asking you to fight. And keep fighting and keep fighting. You fail, you pick it up, and you fight again. That's Chan. It's not about success. Success is existence. Fighting will help you understand emptiness. So you go from existence of the pain, of the sleepiness, of the tiredness, of the hunger. You fight it, then you understand emptiness. You don't fight it, you're stuck in existence. Too loud. You are too loud. Can you scream louder? That's power. You don't get it, but if we don't give up, eventually that's what you're going to do. What's the first question? Shh. Now, whisper. You want attention. Whisper.
Sangsun, can I hear?
No more scream. That's existence and emptiness. Got it? Yeah.
I practiced meditation for 3 months, and every day I sat 1 hour. And then recently I felt very tired. My eyes are very tired. So could you advise about this problem?
Fight. And then when you fight, eventually you fail, you fall asleep. That's natural. You wake up, you fight again. That's all. Very simple. You do that, and then someday you understand. Okay? You may not be able to fight until you're successful, but the mere fact you're fighting a little bit more each time is the training that we're after. You do not need to be successful. I only need you to fight, and fight more, and fight harder every single time. That's all. JC.
토르 만트라에 대해서 질문드립니다. 수행에는 열심이지만 마스터 법문을 소개했는데 크게 관심을 가지지 않는 두 친구가 있는데요. 그 중에 한 명은 우울증이 좀 심해 보이는데 어쨌든 그 두 명에게 토르 만트라를 소개해도 되는 건지 우리 절 안에서만 할 수 있는 건지 질문드립니다.
Master, I have two friends. They practice very diligently, but they are not interested in your Dharma talk. So I'm thinking about introducing them to our Saturday mantra. Is it okay?
Yeah, sure. Of course. Feel free. There are plenty of things for them, but don't force it. If they're not interested, they're not interested. It's no big deal. Find whatever they're interested, guide them into more Mahayana contents. If you can't, then it's because they lack Mahayana blessings. It's very you folks take it for granted, but it takes a lot of blessings to be able to listen to this Dharma. A lot of blessings. It takes time. And for example, Tuyin Sunim here. Here, he's returning to K-Land very soon. Okay? I need to prepare him gradually in how to go back there. Okay? And at his level, for example, he's able to absorb a lot of information. Okay? And so far, his lifestyle is always work, work, work. So now it's time to broaden the cultivation and learn more. Okay? For example, if you're cooking, then just give an example about cooking. If you're interested, you're cooking in vegetarian. We lack a lot of flavors. Okay, because we don't have meat flavors, lobster flavors, Wagyu beef flavors, such. Okay, and therefore the master chefs, I noticed, they use combinations of mushrooms. They don't just use one type of mushroom day in, day out. They experiment this type of mushroom and that type of mushroom, that type of mushroom, and they mix them. Okay? And that's part of the learning process. Okay? If you want to be better, you enjoy what you're doing, you need to broaden your mind. Okay? So for example, you're into vegetarian cooking and you want to make it more sophisticated and add more flavors, there are hundreds of different types of mushroom flavors you can try. And you can condense them. You reduce them so that the flavor is more intense, or you vary different flavors, you mix the flavors. So that's part of experimentation, it's part of learning, okay? And that's what makes life fun, not just one-dimensional, okay? And so in his case, for example, okay, I should give an example of cooking, but in his case, he needs to learn more about the Dharma because he can absorb a lot of information nowadays, a lot more than normal people. So when you go back to Korea, until you go back to Korea, I want you to listen to the Dharma. We have like thousands of hours of Dharma for you to listen to. Don't try to understand, just listen. Okay? Listen and listen and listen. And let your Buddha nature absorb it. Okay, that's very important. I want you, there are plenty I'm giving you very personalized instructions. There are plenty of dharmas out there, okay? But I want you to focus on my videos first, my audio tapes first, and then Master Shenhua next, okay? That's all you need to do. And you can absorb that. Then you understand the Dharma, because your understanding of Dharma right now is very, very narrow. You cannot help people. You cannot help people. You cannot understand people's problems from a Dharma perspective. When you listen to people's problems, for example, when I listen to your questions, I look first is, where are you coming from? What is your level? How far can I teach you? What can you understand? That comes first. You can't do that yet. Okay? But you are able to build up your library of knowledge of dharmas, which you failed to do because no one ever told you to. Now's the time for you. I ask nothing to you. Go back and listen and learn. That's all. Don't try to help people. You don't know? You call. You say, let's call. Let's do a conference call back. And this is when we teach you how to help people, how to use the Dharma to help the people. You don't invent new Dharmas because you don't understand anything yet from a context of the Buddha's teachings. You understand things from a worldly perspective, that's existence. You have to understand the problem from both sides, from existence as well as from emptiness. Existence is what makes them unhappy. See, it's a lot for you to learn. Listen and listen and listen, that's all. And do everything. Interpret everything according to those principles, according to those teachings, not your interpretations. I can't care less about your interpretations. Too stupid. If you don't have the reference, you ask. You ask him. You ask her. Is it clear? And then for the lady who asked a question, I'm glad to see her. You don't know how happy I am to see her every single time. And she asks a lot of questions. When she first started, she had a lot of issues, very afflicted. Okay? And the affliction comes, they arise internally and compounded by the family. Of course, it's understandable. None of your families are supportive of what you do. We are called. On the outside, we are called. We're doing things that no other temples do. I'm even digressing, getting out from under my master's shadow. It's the shadow of his Dharma, because it's time. Okay? But somehow, and I look at her and I say, my God, I explain things to you, but you don't get it. So really, I expected her to drop out. But luckily for her, somehow her blessings continue to accrue faster than her karmic obstructions. That's why she's able to sneak in every now and then to go to the temple, or maybe tune into the morning ceremony and so forth, from home and so forth. And so what I'm describing is the same process as is Chanchi here. You fight. Of course, when you come here, you're going to have some obstructions. But it's not here. Here is only because we help you isolate them so that it's more intensive, so that you can go faster. Okay? You can improve a lot faster. But at home, it's the same process. You have obstructions left and right, but they come at different times. Maybe not as intense. Definitely not as intense. Okay? But that's help her survive. And number one, her blessings increase a lot. And then number two, okay, is that she never gave up. Why not? Because she knows better. Status quo is not good enough. It's a lot of suffering. The sufferings continue to increase and to oppress you. And the existence sides don't know what to do. They only compound the problem. Throwing money at it is not going to help. Throwing fame at it is not going to help. There must be the other side of the equation. You need to have a balance in the approach. And that's, again, I said, the problem with religion nowadays is that they're stuck, for us, the purists are stuck on the emptiness side. They're useless. And the ones, the newcomers, the new Sanghas, the new religious pursuers, okay, forget to build the emptiness before they branch into existence. That's why religion is shrinking everywhere. Not just Buddhism. It's Mormonism, it's Islam, it's everything. Because the times have changed. People are a lot smarter. They're a lot faster. Now I can con you. But with the internet, social media, it blows up overnight. There's nowhere to hide nowadays. Okay? So the principle is that you keep fighting. The more difficult it is, the harder you fight. Be careful. If you rely only on existence, I remind you, for all you lay people, if you depend, you only buy into existence, pursue only existence, you are bound for a lot of heartaches, a lot of disappointment, and a lot of sicknesses. No two ways about it. You too. Hey, G.I. Joe is back with us. How about that? Yeah. Welcome back.
Thank you all for your wonderful support and wonderful to join.
Yeah. Graybeard.
Dharma Talk to enrich our lives. And dear listeners, if this program is suiting you and you're enjoying it, please give us a like.
Wow, he's crossing his legs already. Does it hurt?
Well, what is hurt, Master?
I forgot.
We have a comment from Jane Clymer to help out with using the flavor of mushrooms. She states you can also use potato and tomato to provide umami flavors too.
Absolutely. There are like hundreds of different varieties of tomatoes. Mm-hmm. You should try heirloom tomatoes, for God's sake. And cheese. The French has 250, variety of cheeses. There's so much to learn. Absolutely. Yeah? Okay, good. JC, see, I have confirmation here.
마스터 감사합니다. 사실 제가 마스터 만나기 오래전부터 혼자 있을 때는 불안하고 우울해서 견딜 수 없었고 사람들이랑 같이 있을 때는 숨을 못 쉴 정도로 저의 괴로움을 이기지 못했는데 마스터 법을 만나고 승가의 도움과 법장사에 계신 마스터지께서도 저의 업장을 많이 소멸해 주셨고 그리고 노스님께서도 사리를 주시며 저를 도와주셨고, 또 제가 잘 못하고 있을 때 주미 씨가 실질적인 조언을 많이 해주었습니다. 제 마음이 현재는 지금 풍요롭고 신체적으로도 점점 균형 잡혀가고 있는데, 이 모든 것을 마스터께 감사드리고 싶습니다. 그리고 아까 질문 중에 수정해야 할 게 있는데, 토요일 만트라로 전달이 되었는데 토요일 만트라가 아니라 현지 스님의 만트라 줌 클래스를 얘기한 것이어서 한 번 더 전달 부탁드립니다.
Thank you, Master. Before meeting Master, when I'm alone, I was very depressed. I was very anxious. And when I'm with people, I cannot breathe. And my suffering is so much. But because I met your Master's Dharma, and then owing to the Sangha's help, and Master Ji also helped a lot, and Master C gave me lots of sharila, and then Jumi advised and support me a lot. So right now, I'm very peaceful, I'm balanced. So thank you for everything. And one correction from the previous question, it's not Saturday mantra, it's Master Ji's mantra class.
Yes. For ordinary people, just tell them it's very powerful. We blow your ego away. There's no I. You recite it. When you have a big ego, you listen to his mantra, you blow it away. Okay. Brute force. Okay, very good. Anything else? All right. Yes, JC.
현공 스님 친구분의 질문이고 영어로도 같이 질문이 올라와서 한국어로 읽고 영어로 다시 읽겠습니다. 부처님은 하루 수면 시간이 1시간 남짓이었다는 기사를 보았습니다. 하루에 1시간을 자고 오후 불식을 하면서도 부처님은 어떻게 갖은 설법을 펼치고 쉬지 않고 중생들을 돌볼 수 있었는지가 궁금합니다. 일반 범부로서 수행자들의 생활 패턴을 따라하고자 노력하지만 곧 에너지가 고갈된다는 느낌이 들어서 힘들다는 생각이 듭니다. 이것은 제가 참선을 하지 않기 때문인가요? 참선 수행을 하지 않는 범부는 그렇다면 생활 패턴만을 수행자들처럼 하는 것만으로는 적은 에너지로 생활하는 것이 불가능한 것인가요? I saw an article that Buddha slept less than an hour a day. I wonder how he was able to do all kinds of activities while sleeping only an hour a day and refrain from having meal in the afternoon. As an ordinary person, I try to imitate the life patterns, especially sleeping and eating pattern of monks, but this is not easy because I feel I'm running out of energy. Is this because I do not take meditation? Then is it impossible for ordinary people who do not practice meditation to live with less energy just by following a life pattern of monks?
Okay. English is not bad. I understand 90% of it, in spite of my hearing issues. Simply put, you're not a Buddha. Why do you want to do what Buddhas do? You're not a Sangha. Why do what Sanghas do? Buddhas, before he became a Buddha, went through very rigorous training himself because he didn't have any real teachers. He suffered a lot and really struggled in his practice. But because of his blessings, he's able to survive all those difficulties and obstructions. You're not a Buddha, you don't have his blessings, so you're easily stopped by the obstruction you arise. You develop wisdom because you're able to learn to solve those obstructions. There is a process that Buddhas went through. Okay? And similarly, his disciples, his professional disciples like us, we have a specialized training program. It's not like yours. You come to the temple maybe once a weekend, maybe even less. And if you think you can find the information you need on the internet from reading, you're so mistaken. Okay? It's not how we train our people in our world. The Sanghas have a lot more intensive training program. It doesn't look it. But they are under a specialized training program that our patriarchs devised. Okay? Especially, the patriarchs were actually taught by the Buddhas. So they came up with these things with the Buddha's help to train our people accordingly. That's how they're able to do the things that they are doing. So it takes a lot of training, it takes specialized training, it takes a lot of guidance, it takes what you don't realize, it's not spoken enough, it takes a lot of protection. You're weak, and you have a lot of obstructions, and therefore you need protection, just like babies need mama's protection. Until the babies are able to fend for themselves. Exactly the same thing happens in Buddhism. For you to make it to the promised land, you need a lot of protection. If you're on your own, good luck. 99.99999% of the people who do it on their own, they all failed. I only can think of one person of recent memory, like my late Chinese teacher, Master YongHua. He's able to do it on his own. But what you don't realize is that it's only because he has protection as well. Okay? And this is not explained often enough to you people. I reveal all these things for you because we're trying to catch up with the Chinese. We want to surpass them. We want to be stronger and better than them. Okay? Then we have to know all the secrets behind their success. It's not as simple as you think. You think when you say Buddha can sleep 1 hour, so can I can train, then you should logically be looking for how he trained himself. What kind of training these people went through in order for them to do what they do. Why do you have to reinvent the wheel? And so there are a lot of reasons why after the training the Buddha is able to sleep 1 day, 1 hour a day, half hour a day, 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day. It depends. It's not always the case he slept only 1 hour a day. Sometimes he, let's say, slept longer, sometimes he slept less. I wasn't there, but I believe that's the case. Okay? It's not the way it sounds. He sleeps 1 day, 1 hour a day. Maybe on average, he slept 1 hour a day. Okay? My teacher, I heard he slept about 2 hours a day. Okay? In some circumstances, you can get by with a lot less sleep as well. Okay? So it's all in the training. It's not as simple as what you read on the internet, what people told you. It's very, very specialized information that's not on the internet. It's transmitted from teacher to teacher, teacher to student. Okay? There are lots of things about Buddhism that are not confined to writing. Very much like, family trade secrets. They're transmitted to within the family only. Okay? That's the way it is. It's not meant to be shared. Anyone else? Yes, 3.
Emitofuo Master. Lately, I've been trying to train Evan with listening to mantra and reciting mantra. So I start with Medicine Master, Buddha, Great Compassion, and then finally I have a recording of Master Z's, it was 2 years ago, of his mantra. So the first time I let him listen to it, he wanted to start reciting the Dajitu. I was like, no, don't do that. Don't learn that yet. And then the next few days, I asked him which mantra you want to listen to, and he kept wanting to listen to Master Z's mantra. But after maybe 7 days or something, he complained that he had started having headaches. And I was like, are you okay? He's like, I can see 1,000 thoughts. I was like, what? I was like, okay, close your eye and go to sleep and stop thinking. And when we got to the temple, Master Z rubbed his crown and his headache stops. And then I text Master Z and he say, maybe don't let him listen to us as much. So I've been mixing it up and stuff. So what's going on with that one? Can I still let them listen to Master Z's mantra?
Sure, and listen. And then when he has a headache, bring it to the temple for Master Z to rub his crown. That worked. See, you found one family secret already. Don't tell others. This is a family thing, trade secret, You train your son that way, and no one else knows. Okay? For Evan, I would teach him, the Great Compassion mantra is too long. I would teach him the 20 mantra. And then the shorter mantras, the 10 short mantras are much better for him. Dajuto is too strong. It causes problems. And he doesn't know it yet, so I would not teach children Dajuto. I would teach 20 mantra. I would teach the one I was taught when I was 5 or 6 years old. I was taught this Lipo Lipodi. Okay.
Yeah, he memorized that one already.
Yeah, that's what you do. So I do the small mantras, a few of those. Lipo Lipodi would be the first one I would learn. Okay, and I would teach the children those mantras. Lipo Lipodi, Chanti mantra. And the Good Goddess mantra. Those are very useful for them.
Thank you, Master.
Medicine Master mantra. Shorter and they are able to remember. Yes, JC.
네, 질문 드리겠습니다. 일주일 전부터 이제 데뷔주를 그 108독 이상씩
데뷔주.
마음 먹고 지금 시작을 하고
데뷔주.
일주일 정도 됐습니다. 그래서 108독을 하는데 보통 제가 이제 그 길거리 다니거나 이제 머물러 집에 있을 때는 이제 개수기나 이제 그 염주로 이렇게 하곤 합니다. 그래서 숫자를 세는데 이제 어제 그 보라선을 와서 새벽에 이제 그 좌선을 하면서 이렇게 그 염주를 쓰거나 개수기를 써서 이제 데뷔주를 하는데 뭔가 좀 집중이 좀 흩어지는 것 같아서, 왜냐면 좌선할 때 마스터께서도 지침에 최대한 몸을 여유부동하게 움직이지 말라고 하셔서 이 개수기나 이 저걸 안 쓰고 그냥 그 숫자를 안 세고 이렇게 그냥 좌정한 상태에서 그냥 데뷔주를 계속 했습니다. 근데 그렇게 하다 보니까 이제 숫자를 카운트를 못해서 한 번 할 때마다 뭐 이렇게 하고 하나 둘 이렇게 속으로 했는데, 여쭤보고 싶은 거는 좌선을 하면서 이제 만트라를 할 때는 숫자를 이제 그 염주나 이런 거 개수기로 쓰지 않고 그냥 숫자 하는 거를 아예 생각을 안 하고 하는 게 집중에 더 도움이 될지 좀 여쭙고 싶습니다. 근데 그렇게 하면은 또 이제 숫자에 대한 어떤 그런 이제 목적 의식을 두고 했는데 그거에 대한 부분이 조금 그 캐치가 안 되는 게 있어서요. 그런 좀 단점이 있는데 그래서 좌선을 할 때는 그 만트라 숫자를 세면서 안 하는 게 나을지 집중을 위해서 그걸 여쭈고 싶습니다.
Master, I've been reciting Dabeju 108 times. It's been a week, and I usually use the recitation beads to count the number. But when I come to the JC and meditate, I realize that if I use the beads, my concentration is not good. So Master also told us that do not move while we do meditate. So instead of counting the number and then I meditate, then my question is that is it better to not to count while I do meditate?
When you meditate, you can move the beats. You count. Keep track of the count. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Okay? Meditation, the style you're doing there, when meditate and recite mantras, is called meditation in movement. So counting the beats is still consistent. It's still within the confines of that meditation style of practice. Okay? All right, back to 880. Yes, JC.
네, 주미님의 질문입니다. 좀 전에 코델리아 아들에 관해 조언하시면서 다즈토 하기에는 약하다, 문제를 야기할 수 있다라고 하셨는데 첫 번째 질문은 그게 피지컬적인 문제뿐만 아니라 산매 레벨도 관계가 있나요? 두 번째 질문은 야기되는 문제는 어떤 것일까요? 라고 질문 주셨습니다.
This question is from Jumi. So Master said for Evan, he's too weak to recite Dajito, and then many problems might come up. So my question is that is it physically related or is it related with the samadhi level? And what kinds of problem will come up?
Just don't recite. Any other questions? When I tell you don't recite, don't recite. You don't need to understand too much. Or you could try reciting and find out what happens to you. It's up to you. I don't always listen to my Master YongHua's teachings. That's how I found out. But be prepared for the consequences. And then you come to me and say, I told you so. Oops. Okay, back to 880. Is Wondrous Wisdom Sutra, as he's quoting. So these scholars base their teachings, base their classification, base their work on real Buddhist sutras, okay? Their references, and that's different from a deep secret sutra, is because in uncommon and actually throughout Buddhist teachings, the sutras, the teachings, are geared towards a particular audience. Okay, and this particular sutra here is the type of teaching where those who, upon hearing discussion of the three natures, become confused about consciousness only. And so this is a nature of the learning process. It's interesting. Let me interpret it for you. In the Buddhist teaching here, when they talk about the three natures here, just for you, just for your reference, three natures. Just listen to the jargon. Okay, the nature everywhere calculated and attached to. Okay, and that's confusion, utter confusion, if you will. Number two, nature that arises dependent on something else. This is a teaching that's geared towards people with a little bit of wisdom, such as the sound hearers. Okay, and then the third nature is the complete teaching, the perfectly accomplished real nature. Okay, so when they heard about this, they can become confused, because basically what it's referring to, confused about consciousness only, what it's talking about, and I'll elaborate a little bit later, what it's talking about is the general nature of knowledge, of learning. Okay, you learn, you make progress with your learning, but then you understand, your understanding is very, very localized, very limited. And you don't want to bet your life on it. You don't want to bet your happiness on it. You don't want to bet your future lives on it. Okay? Yeah. And that's the difference. Worldly people, they are not diversified. They put everything in one stock, the stock of worldly knowledge. And therefore, outside of that small domain, they're totally lost. Okay. JC, I think time is up.
주민님이 코멘트를 다시 한번 남기셨습니다. 제가 질문하는 이유는 제 지침이 다즈토라서 질문 드렸습니다.
I questioned this previous question because my instruction is to recite Dajito.
Your what is to recite Dajito?
Yeah, my instruction is recite Dajito. That's why I ask a question.
What question? I heard many questions today.
Why the Dajito, what kind of problem Dajito make?
네, 주민님의 질문이었습니다.
This question is from Jumi.
Oh, thank you for the reference. There are problems and there are good things. There's both existence and emptiness. 881. Allow me to do 881 so that we can finish this. Move on to the next slide. Okay. 未能忘心. They don't understand. Okay. They cannot forget and cannot dispense of the mind. And they don't understand the principles that the three realms are only from the mind. What does it mean? It means that the real world out there is created from your mind. Okay, that's explained, it's mentioned in the Srangama Sutra. Okay, this is profound Buddhist wisdom, but Avatamsaka Sutra takes it a step further, a leap further. Okay, and so it says that this world here, this galaxy here, the world you live in, is actually was created from the mind. And the myriad dharmas you see out there, myriad things out there, are only consciousness. Is this excellent translation. Don't try to understand. Okay? Just memorize it. Whether it's English, whether it's Chinese, doesn't matter. Okay? One day, I assure you, you get it. Okay? Just memorize it. Instead, they develop further attachments. Okay? And so the attachments, further attachments here refers to attachment to their newly acquired knowledge. And actually, not just attachments, they become proud of their attachments. That's extremely dangerous. Okay, this is the fallacy of ordinary people. They become attached to their knowledge. They become proud of their knowledge. What knowledge? Knowledge on how to be successful. Knowledge on how to accomplish things. Okay. Knowledge, about knowledge. All that thing there is actually could cause problems for them. They don't even know it. Not just them, but bodhisattvas too. Namely, for example, my peers. I came from the background, we realized that Master Hsu's Dharma is by far the best. No parallel. No one even comes close. Of recent memory, in terms of great patriarchs, he's one of the greatest. His predecessor, great Master Hsu Yun, is like nowhere near. And therefore, because that's a fact, okay, that knowledge is a fact, and that's why we're stuck on that. And that's why my generation, we get in trouble. Okay? We are prisoners of his knowledge. There's a nun that I really, really admire. She said, everything I know is from Master YongHua. It's true, because his knowledge, wisdom is incredible. Okay? Much broader and vaster than ours. Okay? But to proudly say that spells trouble. And so they become attached to all that knowledge, and bodhisattvas get in trouble because of that too. And this is one weakness I find in my master's teaching, is that he never prepared us for that. And so I'm not yet able to dispense with this mind. That is what I said or explained to you today, is in this context, not able to dispense with the mind, this knowledge that we are successful, that we are the best. That too has to be emptied. Someone has to slap in your face and say, how dare you? The knowledge you have is nothing. Final JC question.
네, 주민님이 다시 한번 질문 주셨습니다. 약하다는 의미가 삼매 레벨을 의미한다면 어느 레벨 이상부터 다스토를 할 수 있나요? 다스토 하기에는 약하다, 문제를 야기할 수 있다라고 한 부분에서 연결해서 다시 질문 주셨습니다.
Master, this is Jumi's question. So
I'm not going to
Master-
answer it. It's no answer. That's all you get.